Hey guys, welcome to another video. Let's talk candles. I am borderline having a candle addiction. I am obsessed with candles. I love the scent, like not of all of them, but I like the way they smell. If there is some work I need to get done and I sort of can't be bothered to do it, I actually make the effort of picking a candle and lighting a candle and using the fact that I've got to sit there and get that work done as a reason to enjoy the candle. That may sound really, really weird, but I've definitely noticed that I do that. As someone who is a self-confessed addict, I think that I've got pretty good at working out which brands are really good and worth getting from, which brands are sort of okay, and also from a price point, because there are some really good candles out there that don't cost a lot and there are some that cost a fortune. Before I start, can I just say that my hair, I'm obsessed with my hair at the moment. I think it looks really good. I got these new hair extensions through this morning, so I pretty much always wear clip-ins. I have a few like wefts put in my natural hair, like tiny little thin ones, but I pretty much always wear clip-ins because they're so easy. But then I got these new ones through this morning and they're quad weft. They're like so thick. Anyway, candles. I'm gonna talk to you about some of my favorites. I've got everything from lower end priced ones from Bath Bodyworks and Yankee Candle through to more expensive like Jo Malone, Diptyque. I highly, highly recommend Bath Bodyworks. I've got loads of their candles because they're $12, but they always do these these like promo things. I bought a whole load back in December and I ended up getting them for, I think it was like $4 each, and they're big candles. I'm deliberately going to show two here. When you go on the website, there are the ones that come with this branding on the front, which is called White Barn, and then you've got the sort of more regular ones that don't have that written on. The White Barn candles are really nice, but I don't personally feel that you get as much fragrance from these as you do the regular ones. Whenever I burn this one, or I've got another one that's also White Barn, I don't find that I sit there and I'm like, I want to be able to smell the candle. If you're in the UK or outside of the US, how do you get Bath Bodyworks, I hear you say? I had a bit of a frustrating time doing this, but I'm going to share with you my experience, because if you're watching this and you want to get this, then here's what I suggest. One of you wrote to me in, I think it was September or October, and you told me that if you type bathbodyworks.co.uk that there is a UK site that comes up. That is true, but I don't think it's like a legit Bath Bodyworks website. It looks like someone who's been shopping over there and they've taken a load of pictures of their products in the bathroom and you can buy off them. I didn't buy from that site after having a look, not actually because I wasn't sure of its legitimacy, but also because they didn't have the products that I wanted to get. So I bought direct from Bath Bodyworks, and I used one of those companies that let you have a PO box in the US. Basically the way these companies work, and it's actually quite a good concept in principle, it's just that in this instance it didn't work for me. I used a company who I shall not name, but I used a particular company, and I used them because they had contacted me and they were like, do you want to do a video for us? And I thought, well, before I commit to anything, I want to try the service first. So I tried the service, not using my real name, and the service, I'm sorry, it was bad. I ordered my products, they got sent to my PO box, they couldn't find my package. Got to a point where I was every other day, I was going onto the website, I was talking to someone on the live chat, and no one was able to help me. No one really cared, no one knew where the parcel had gone. After some time, I put in a PayPal claim to get my money back. I got my money back. And then about 2 months later, the parcel arrived and it was battered and bruised. So I ended up using a different company. They've been really good, and I will put their link below. I don't even know what they're called off the top of my head. I can't remember what they're called, but they're really good. From a price point of view, and from the point of view of the scent, I highly recommend these. These are so inexpensive. Like when you compare it to the likes of Diptyque, these are so inexpensive. You get so much candle for your money. How much is in this? 411 grams. Other brands to consider. If you like Jo Malone candles, but you don't want to spend the money, this, you can see how much I've burned of this. These are a really good option. These are from the White Company. They do different fragrances, but they also do seasonal ones. So this is winter. This smells, if you consider the Bath Bodyworks candles have got like a slight sweet baking scent to them, this is totally different. This smells like cinnamon, like that sort of holly berry smell. It smells like cardamom, like clove. It's not sweet at all, it is just pure spice. This I had going on Christmas Day, but also I've continued to burn it through January, and I dare say I will continue to burn it through February as well. The scent payoff with these are also really good. I don't think anything quite beats the Bath Body Works. Like when you burn these bad boys, you really know about it. It really fills a room. But with this, it's still pretty intense. It's just not as strong as these. Another brand I want to talk about is Yankee Candle. I used to be obsessed with this brand, and I liked it because before Bath Body Works and sort of knowing about their candles, if you wanted a fragrance that was spicy, sweet, warming, or even just seasonal, like they do Easter fragrances, summer ones, I really like this brand for that. They have a really good range of fragrances, and also the payoff from the candle is also really good. This one is chocolate layer cake, and I swear to God, you like that and it's like you baked a chocolate layer cake. It's not overly sweet, it just smells like cake. It actually does smell really good. But one of the things I don't like about this brand is I hate the jars. I feel like the jars are so ungainly and they're so large and bulky and unattractive. I think that in our homes, like a lot of us like things to like look nice, and so I just find, do you know what I mean? That plonked there doesn't have the same visual effect that Jo Malone does. Of course, that might not bother you. You might care only for the fragrance payoff. Yankee candles, certainly in the UK, are quite expensive for what they are. I think that if you like baking or sort of more sweet fragrances and would typically go to Yankee Candle for them, I think actually have a look at Bath Body Works. Even if you're not in the US and you're worried about being able to get them sent to you, even if you're paying for shipping, they end up being cheaper than buying these. Like in the UK, this size candle is about £30. Plus as well with these, because they've got 3 wicks in them, they burn more easily. I don't know if you can see here, but this candle's in a mess. Because it doesn't burn evenly, I've had to every so often get in there with like a spoon and cut some of the wax down. And I always find this with Yankee candles. They never burn evenly. There's always like one side of the candle that's really high up the jar and unused, and then the other side is like really low. But yeah, they're good candles in terms of their fragrance. I just think they're overly expensive, and I think the jars are quite dated now. And then next up, before I talk about more summer candles, is this. This is an Anthropologie candle. I didn't even know that Anthropologie did candles. I've used so much of it. This is called Oatmeal Cookie. Oh my God, now this actually is a baking smell. I got given this for my birthday a couple of years ago, and it is a fragrance that I would probably not have bought for myself in the shop, but it's one of those ones where you smell it and you're like, yeah, that smells nice. But when you light it, it smells like oatmeal cookie, but it's got like a muskiness to it. It is so nice to have lit in your house. So they are the candles that I typically tend to burn in the winter. For spring, summer, this is one that I really like. This is from Voluspa, and it's in the flavour Crisp Champagne. They come in these tins, you can get them in different sizes. This is like the smaller size. They also have like a bigger one that's got 3 wicks in it, and it sort of looks like that. This has got a really delicate, fresh, not spicy at all, not sweet at all. It is a fresh, delicate, uplifting, I guess it does smell a little bit champagne-y actually. It's sort of slightly rose, like there's a hint of sort of rose in there, but it's really, really like low on the list. This I love burning when it's a hot day and I want like a fresh scent in the air. This also lasts really well. I can't remember exactly how much this was. At one stage I did have the big one that had the 3 wicks in it, and when I tried to go back and buy it, they'd sold out and they only had this one, so I ended up buying this in the end. Now moving on to Jo Malone, I couldn't not mention it. This is what I'm burning at the moment. This is like the only candle that I like the smell of that is floral. This is Red Roses. Red Roses is the nicest smell, but personally for me, it is one that I've got to be in the mood to have on. Like, for example, if you don't like the smell of rose, obviously you're not going to like the smell of this, but it doesn't smell like that sort of dusty old lady rose smell. It literally smells like freshly cut roses. It's very uplifting, but at the same time there is an element to it that can feel quite heavy. So I can't describe it. You know that sometimes rose can be quite heavy, and that is one that is like both light and heavy at the same time, in my opinion. And then finally, Diptyque. 3 of their fragrances I am hooked on. The first one is this, Violet. This smells, it is floral, but it's not like a bouquet of flowers. It smells like You know those sweets, Parma violets? It smells like that. And I love this candle, but equally a bit like the Red Roses one from Jo Malone, this also has the potential to be a little bit overpowering and sickly if you have it on for too long. If you have it in a large room, maybe you've got a window open, it's quite fresh in there, it really fills the room with a lovely light violet fragrance. But if you have it lit in a smaller space where maybe there's not so much air movement, I find that it can be a little bit sickly. So what I tend to do with this, I'll burn it, I'll then blow the candle out, and I will just leave it, like, because you get actually quite a lot of scent from the wax in this candle. Good thing with these candles is, you know how you go in the shop and you smell it and you're like, sometimes, like, here's the thing, sometimes I smell a candle in the shop and I'm like, oh, I don't like it. But then I will go to maybe someone's house and they'll have it lit and I'll be like, oh my God, what does that smell? It smells so good. That happened to me with one of these. They've got a fragrance called Baze or Bazes, and I smelt that in the shop, didn't think I liked it, and then I went to like an event last summer, and I was walking around, I was like, what is that amazing smell? And it turned out that they had like that fragrance lit, and then it got me onto it. So that's like a really good example of where you think you don't like something, but it completely, the fragrance of it completely changes once you've got it lit. Is if you're not sure, you can actually buy a smaller, like a mini travel size. I think you can as well. Yeah, you can with Jo Malone as well. So it's a good way of experiencing the scent of a candle without having to go ahead and buy the whole thing, for which you might not even like. Like, for example, one candle that I can't stand is I've got the Jo Malone Lime Basil and Mandarin, and I hate the smell of it. I don't know why, it just reminds me of like public toilets, you know, when they've put the cleaner around it. I can hear like some of you already going like, no, I'm sure like some of you love it. The weirdest thing is that the room spray version of Lime Basil and Mandarin, I like that smell, but I don't like the smell in candle form. So yeah, the smaller versions are quite good if you're not 100% sure and you just want to sample it before you go ahead. Thank you so much for watching. I'm going to link to everything in the description, including what I'm wearing, so go and check out there if you want more information. I will see you in the next video.